What is your circumstance? Circumstance right here, conditions surrounding and affecting a person. What is your circumstance? If we look at it, we know circumstance, right, requires a response. Pretty simple stuff, right? What is your response to your circumstance? That's where a very important word comes into play, and that word is choice. Choice right here, right? What are you going to choose to do today? What are you going to choose to do in your business? What are you going to choose to do to change, if you want, your circumstance, the conditions surrounding and affecting you? What are you going to do? Because it comes down to the choice. Because here's the beautiful thing. This is where we understand how we're responding to what's happening in our lives, in the conditions that we're currently living in. What choice are you going to make today? Are you going to be proactive? Or are you going to be reactive? Are you going to freeze? Right? Fight, flight, freeze. What are you going to do? I want to encourage you. I want to bring energy into your world today so that you make the choice to go out there and be proactive, to go out there and make positive, optimistic choices every single day and not let the response to your circumstances stop you from being successful as a real estate entrepreneur. And how do we make better and more informed choices? It's called your personal board of directors. Personal board of directors. You know that whole saying that you are the 5 people that you surround yourself with? This is so incredibly powerful. And let me just break this down to you, because there's 5 specific roles that you're looking for in your personal board of directors. And listen, this show is going to be about lead follow-up. This show is going to be about getting more of your leads to convert. This is going to get over the hurdle of the fear of follow-up, right? We're going to go through all of that. I've got Ryan Thornton back today by popular demand. It's going to be absolutely bananas. But before we jump into that, who are your personal board of directors? First of all, number 1, right? You have got your sponsor. All right, this is your hype person. This is your cheerleader. Who is this in your life, in your business? Who's your sponsor? Who's the person that is going to uplift you, give you the energy, give you the positivity, say, you can do this. I believe in you. I trust that what you want to do with your life is that you are going to take all the right actions, make all the right choices to be able to do that. That's number 1 is your sponsor. Number 2 is your mentor, right? Mentor, there you go. Who is the person that's in the place that you want to be? Seriously, who's the person that you want to model? Listen, everything's already been done. Absolutely everything has been done. So stop trying to reinvent the wheel and model your behavior based on somebody that you want to be like, somebody that's in a position that you are, right? Number 3 is your connector, right? Connector. Who's the person that's going to introduce you to people? I am this for a lot of people. A lot of the people that I'm around, I connect with. But I've got my own connectors. Who's connecting you? Who's helping you network? Who's getting you into the door, giving you into that handshake conversation with somebody that you want to meet, that you want to connect with, that knows the title companies and the hard money lenders and knows how to build a cash buyer database and knows how to do these deals? Who is connecting you with all of these people that are doing amazing things, that own 500 doors, that lend money, millions of dollars every single week, every single month? Who is your connector? These are all critical because this helps you make better choices, right? Next is the expert. This is your protector. All right, your expert. This is your shield. This is your attorney. This is your CPA. This is somebody that is going to make sure that you don't get over your skis. This is going to make sure that you're on the right path. This is somebody that's going to make sure that when things hit the fan, you are protected. Who is this in your life? Who is this in your business? Right? And then the last one is your friend. Right? Who's that person that knows you? Friend. Who is that person? Who is the person that you connect with that is going to be brutally honest with you? that is going to have your back, that really knows who you are before you became super successful, or knows who you are as you're on your path to be super successful, right? These are all critical people: the sponsor, the mentor, the connector, the expert, the friend. Your personal board of directors. If you don't have these, it's going to be tough to make the better choices. And the choices, that's what controls the response that you have to the circumstances that you're facing. And circumstances might just be your lifestyle. Circumstances might be your upbringing. Circumstances might be just a deal that you're doing. Whatever. We go through circumstances every single day. Every single day requires our response. And we get better choices when we have our crew, when we're squatted up, when we have our personal board of directors. Do not sleep on this, guys. I know that this is very cerebral, but it is absolute facts. You want to get somewhere faster? You want to be more protected? You want to make sure that you keep what you make? That you need to have your personal board of directors. 100%. This is the mastermind thing. This is what's talked about in Think and Grow Rich, right here. This is what's talked about in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, when he talks about Rich Dad going in and all of a sudden he's got his accountant and business manager and attorney and all the people that were running his different businesses all in there. Who are your personal board of directors? Start working on it right away, because it allows you to make better choices faster. And the faster you can do it, the quicker you can get to where you want to go, and the more it keeps your attention. Because the fact is, when you keep winning, your attention is focused on that. And as long as you're keeping the money, you're keeping the rewards, whatever that reward is for you. In our business, typically, it's actually taking the money home. It's going to keep your attention and keep you in this business long enough to be wildly successful. Because that's the difference. That's the difference between people that kind of are average and then the superstars, is consistency. Consistency and sustainability. All right? Boom, there's a little mindset. Now, let's get into lead follow-up. All right, got my trusty whiteboard already decked out. Take a picture of it. Take a picture of it, because we're going to be going through this, and I'm going to be explaining this. And the point of this is I want this to be opened up for questions, because this is a 2-hour show, and this is your show. This is your show to get into the comments section and make sure that you're asking the questions that pertain to your business right now. We want to answer them. Myself and Ryan Thornton. By the way, Ryan Thornton, top acquisition manager in the country, hands down, $51,000 average deal. $51,000 average deal. Does about one a week. We're about $2 million business, so it's not quite one a week, but 51,000. All right, lead follow-up roadmap. Stop, listen. I'm gonna come up here real quick. I'm gonna bring this. Before I get into this, listen to me. Money is in the follow-up. You've heard it a million times. All right? Stop going out there and hunting and hunting and hunting and hunting. And then all of a sudden, once you have that lead, you're so afraid to call that lead because you don't want to be heartbroken. You don't want to be crestfallen by, oh my gosh, they went with somebody else. This was the real deal. I knew it. Or, oh my gosh, they don't want to sell anymore. Or, oh my gosh, I don't want to screw this up. Right? They said that they want to sell. I've done some work on it. I've done some due diligence, and I'm really afraid of calling them because I don't want something bad to happen. I don't want them to just go away. I want to hold on to this lead and protect it. And I said this in a video that Alejandra and I did 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. Leads are not like wine and cheese. They don't get better with age. All right? Time kills all deals. Our job with lead follow-up is to shorten the timeline from when they've made the decision, right? They've made the decision that they're going to sell this property, and shortening that timeline so they make the decision faster. That is the point of lead follow-up, all right? And obviously to get it converted into a signed contract, but we do that by shortening the timeline. Because let me tell you there, and I know people in here, I know people watching this, understand, people listening to this, understand what it's like to lose a deal, all right? To lose a deal because you're not following up, all right? So let's look at this, all right? Here we go. Lead follow-up roadmap. Number 1, pre-qualify 100% of your leads 100% of the time. 100% of the time. Remember, condition, timeline, motivation, price, condition, timeline, motivation, price. We have to pre-qualify. If we don't pre-qualify, we will spend our time having conversations and putting energy into relationships that aren't going to end up being profitable. And listen, for me, it was difficult because I wanted to have a relationship with everybody. I wanted to talk to them whether I was going to do business with them or not. The problem is when you're doing a lot of lead generation and you're putting your attention on people that'll never do business with you, it prevents you from communicating effectively with the people that will actually do business with you. If you look at it, if you do 50 deals this year, you're incredible. You do 100 deals, you're a superstar, right? So you have to build 50 to 100 relationships. Now you might have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 leads, but only a fraction of them. And I'll get down to the numbers on it. You can probably see it down at the bottom, but pre-qualify 100% of the time to make sure that it is a real lead, okay? That it's a real lead. Because if it's not a real lead, you have to trash it. Get rid of it. Bad leads hide the good ones. We want to focus on the best leads. What makes a real lead? Let me say this very, very, very clear, because sometimes this gets real confusing. A real lead is somebody that has made the decision to sell their property. That's a real lead. Now, the price, the terms, all of that, that's negotiable. That's part of the process, right? But somebody has to have already made the decision that they're going to sell their house. If you're going out, and one of the most dangerous words in our business is the word convince. How do I convince them that this is the right time to sell? How do I convince them to take my offer? You don't convince anybody on anything here. This isn't buying a tube of toothpaste. This is a 2-week, 30, 45-day process where they have to fill out a lot of paperwork and do a lot of work on their back end with the title company or closing attorney to get this deal done. Okay? So this isn't something that you're going to just magically sprinkle them with the right words and the right closing statements, and all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, I did want to sell and I would love it at this price. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Okay? So we need to make sure that they've made the decision that they want to sell. And because we've pre-qualified them, we should have an idea of what their timeline is. That's why timeline is so critical. I think out of the 4, it's the most critical. Condition, timeline, motivation, price. People go, oh, it's the motivation. No, it's the timeline. Because people want speed and convenience. People will trade potential equity in their property for speed and convenience. Right? Okay. Real lead. Next, 3x3. All right. As soon as you get this lead in, if it's from marketing, right? Maybe it's from pay-per-click, maybe it's from a text message, maybe it's from direct mail. You want to get on them right away. If you haven't had an initial conversation, you want to get it right away. And if your phone prospector, if you've hired somebody to make the calls for you, sends a lead in 3x3. You want to call that person 3 times. Okay? You're going to leave a voicemail and a text message for 3 straight days. You're going to call them 3 times, text message, voicemail. You don't have to send 3 text message and leave 3 voicemails. Call them 3 times. If they don't answer, every single day, text message, voicemail for 3 straight days. Get them on the phone. Okay? Don't go bananas with this. Don't start off with friction in the relationship where you call them like a dozen times the first day. People teach that and it's ridiculous and it really doesn't work. It just really annoys people. So 3 times is plenty. Trust me, that is heavy. That is heavy for one day. But make sure you get them on the phone. Now, if you've picked up the phone and you already know that they're a lead and you've had those conversations, just set an appointment for the next time that you're going to talk. Okay? If you got the lead now and you need to do some due diligence and you want to get back with them or set the appointment or whatever else, then make sure that you have that appointment already set up so that they are ready for when you call them. The likelihood that they'll answer is way, way, way higher. Okay? But let me explain something to you. When you're calling and texting and doing your lead follow-up, 80% of the time, they don't answer. Okay? So it literally takes 30 seconds to call, leave a voicemail, maybe another 30 seconds to send a text, unless you put it in like just, your notes and just copy and paste every single time, right? 3x3, get on there, get in front of them, open up those conversations, and then you want to constantly be touching base. Constantly be touching base. Next is you have to triage your leads. What that means is, I love this word. It's kind of a crazy word. Triage, like if we go to the hospital and I cut my arm off and you have a stomach bug, they're going to treat me first, right? They're going to treat me first. That's your hot leads. So what's a hot lead? It's right here. 7 days. They're going to make a decision. They're going to sign a document saying they're selling their property to somebody in 7 days. That's a hot lead. This is our stalker list. This is the people that we want to be in front of all the time. This is the people that we call first. This is the people that are most top of mind, right? When we wake up every single morning and we say to ourselves, who is going to sign a contract today? Who is going to sign a contract today? This is who you're thinking about, all right? Now, warm leads are anybody between 7 days and 60 days out. These are warm leads. These are the same as hot leads. They made the decision to sell. They've got rough circumstances. They want to sell it. They just have a longer timeline. Whether they feel like they need to fly out, clean out the property, whether they got to wait for a tenant to get out of the property, whether they need to wait for a probate or inheritance to go through. These are your warm leads, okay? And next is your cold leads. These are people that are way far out there, right? This is 60 days plus. And we keep cold leads in our system if they're completely destroyed, like the condition of the property is destroyed, because we know that they're going to sell their property at some point. But if you have a lead in your database right now, we all do, that's in good condition, it's not terrible, it's in good condition. You haven't really pulled out the price out of them because they're not really ready to throw out a price yet because they're off in the distance. They're going to sell it. Get rid of them. Stop it. Get rid of them. I'm telling you, you're going to be doing so much lead generation in your business because you're so proactive and you're talking to so many people. Get rid of the people that don't want to sell in the next 60 days and they have a nice house. Get rid of them. If they're destroyed, if they need some love, keep them in there because they have one choice. Well, they have two choices. Invest a ton of capital and money into their property to get it into a retail condition or sell to a cash buyer. Because the conventional banks won't lend on properties that are really rough. They won't. It's too big of a risk. So they have to sell to somebody like us, right? And then the next one is stop the drip. Stop the drip campaigns. If you think a CRM is going to magically convert deals for you, I will beat you like a drum in your market. And there's somebody like me in every single market because we're going to be proactive. We're going to get on the phone. A human being is going to be reaching out and building a relationship. If you think AI or a computer is going to do the random text for you and the random emails and the random voicemail drops and you're going to get that deal, it's not going to happen. Now, the problem is it happens every so often, maybe like twice a year. But come on, twice a year, we want to do 2 deals from a drip campaign? Stop it. Just pick up the phone. It takes 30 seconds. Stop trying to automate your lead follow-up. Stop falling into the traps of the SaaS companies, the software companies that go, you don't have to do anything. Our system does it for you. Beat you like a drum. Your competition will beat you like a drum. Is that 3 times today, Aaron? Boom. He loves it. There we go. Next is top of lead, all right? Top of the lead. This is really critical. At the top of every single lead you have, I want you to put what your average assignment fee is. When you're looking at your lead, or if it's in your CRM, and if you've never done a deal, put $15,000. So you're looking at that lead. Every time you see that lead, you see $15,000. You see $20,000. You see $51,000 like ours. You see that every time you see that lead, you think you're going to not call that lead? No, because you see the benefit. You see the reward. That's so incredible. You see the reward of your efforts of just following up with that lead. So put the amount that you make, the average amount. If you've never done a deal, put $15,000 on the top of every single lead and watch what happens with you. Watch how productive you're going to be. And next is, remember, 20. If you're cold calling, you're going to get 20 leads to get 1 deal. You're going to talk to 200 people. 180 of them are going to reject you. 20 are going to say that they want to sell, and one of them is going to work with you. So remember, when you do this deal, you don't have to replace one lead in your pipeline. You have to replace 20. It's never ending. It's a monster. Your lead generation is a monster, just eating these leads all the time, all the time. It needs to be fed, right? So you've got the one deal closed, but you need to replace it with 20. Now, if you're doing marketing, it's more like 5 to 1, 5 leads to 1, because it costs a lot of money to get people to call you. So it's a lot less leads, but it's a lot more expensive. Okay? Does that make sense? This is your lead follow-up roadmap. Remember, time kills all deals. So get in front of them. Get the reps. Build a relationship. You will get more deals at better prices building the relationship and staying in front of them. I'm telling you. We get deals. Ryan gets deals where he is lower than an offer, but they go with him because they like him more. It's absolutely incredible. Let's make sure that we get Ryan in here. And got a couple questions. Okay, we're gonna open up to questions here. Does that make sense, guys? Are you guys getting value out of this? If you're getting value out of this, please hit that like button. It really helps out the channel, and it just exposes this this content to a lot of incredible people. Listen, this isn't for everybody. This is intense. This is next level. This is for the people that want to be proactive and serious in their business. And so share it, because the more that you can, the more that you can round out your personal board of directors. You never know who you're going to find in these comment sections, because we get a lot of deals done in the comment section. All right, Ryan, come on in. Introducing the world's greatest acquisition manager, Ryan Thornton.
Wow.
That's right.
The world's great.
The world's.
Too high for me.
No, I think
I love pressure, but I love pressure.
Yeah.
But the world's greatest. That's.
I could say galaxy if you want. You want me to go that big? The world's tiny.
Isn't that going? That's going in the opposite direction of what I'm asking for. Like, let's.
I know.
We could say. We could say.
That's how good you are.
Continents.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Yeah. There you go. All right.
Going back to the board, I want to go over it a little bit.
Okay.
To the left a little bit so we can see the board.
Big head out of the way.
So basically, with a lead,
Yep.
when you are pre-qualifying, do they have to hit the 4 pillars, like the actual 4 pillars, or what if they only have 3? Is that considered a lead?
Yeah. A lead is somebody that wants to sell. A lead is somebody that wants to sell. Our job is to pre-qualify as much as possible. Okay? So you want to pull out as much as possible, but get the timeline. Understand, when do they want to sell? The price might be tough to get. Why they want to sell, you might have to pull that out of them. Conditions, pretty easy. That's why we go condition, timeline, motivation, price, because the condition, they're going to tell us, or they're going to tell your phone prospector. So usually we know that. That's the kind of the gateway drug to getting into the rest of the conversation. That opens up the conversation by asking them, okay, tell me about, what remodeling have you done to the kitchen bathroom in the last 5 years? Can you tell me what's going on with the roof? What's going on with all these things? And then you start chipping away at the other pre-quals. Ryan?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was going to say. No, price is usually something that it doesn't even matter. If we can get a timeline and the motivation, even those, like, that's enough for me to say, yeah, okay, cool. Let's see. Because even condition is nice because that's what helps us with our spreads.
Right.
But sometimes you can have a livable house. You can move in right now, and the homeowner's motivation and timeline just fits the bill perfectly. So the deal works out.
Love it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right.
Was that just your question, Hundra? Or was that somebody asked that?
It's a good question.
That's a good question. Yeah. Awesome. Isaiah, when's the best time to cold call? When you can be consistent.
Yeah.
When you can be consistent. Isaiah, a lot of people aren't starting out in this business going full time. A lot of people have to get some deals closed before they can fund this business fund their schedule, really, so that they can do this business full time. So when you can fit it in and find it, I would say when the sun's up is a good indicator. That's when people are typically going to be picking up the most. But the answer is when you can be consistent. What is sustainable in your life?
Yeah, set a goal for yourself. If you're going to do mornings and mornings work better for you as far as time, set a goal. I'm going to do cold calling from this time to this time. If afternoons are better, I'm going to do it from this time to this time. And just, again, stay consistent with those times, and you're going to get a rhythm, and it's going to become second nature.
When do you like doing lead follow-up?
So it really depends. So it depends on the lead, right? So I'll have that conversation and I'll ask them, hey, what's the best time to get a hold of you? You know, the next time we talk, you know, do you want me to call you in the morning, the afternoon? Is the evening the best time? So I'll put that in my notes and kind of get a better ideas for each particular lead. But a lot of times I like to catch people in the evening.
Yep.
Because, I mean, they're either driving home from work or they're getting home from work and they have time. You know, you call during work hours, and even people who work from home, it's still kind of hit or miss. But I've had some luck with people in the evenings because they're shutting down the work mindset and they're opening up to what they need to do in their life.
Let me ask you this before Alejandro pulls up the next one. This is something that was always a challenge, was new leads coming in versus the leads that you're following up with, right? What do you take priority? Will you pull up that meme of the dog and the cat? I think that this is hilarious, and I think that this, you'll understand. It'll pull up here. I think that this fits perfect. My new leads, the prospects I need to follow up with, right?
Yeah. No, for sure. And it's all part of that kind of triage mindset. Just because a new lead comes in doesn't make it better than a lead that you should be following up with. So you're essentially just looking at the timeline and the motivation and going, okay, well, this one is close, so I'm going to follow up with that one first. And then your new leads, you're doing the same thing. You know, you're pre-qualifying them and calling them and then kind of figuring out when you need to continue with that follow-up.
Do you ever get overwhelmed? You know what I mean? Is it ever like, how do you keep your hunger for new leads if you're doing a lot of follow-up with your old leads? Because that's where I see a lot of pausing and then, okay, I'm going to sprint again, and pausing, and then I'm going to sprint again with lead follow-up, because you're like, oh, I got to get to all these new leads, but I also have to take care of the old ones.
Yeah, it's a hurry up and
right.
go type of mindset. But because of the potential. Because new leads they're crisp.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're looking at it, you're like, oh, I don't know what this is, but it could be good.
Right.
And so that motivates me to really dive into that new lead. But obviously not forgetting the ones that you've already been talking to. But new leads they're awesome. They give me a good feeling because you just don't know what it's gonna bring, and it could be big.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the fresh new one, right? And then you still got to keep your eye on these ones that are circling. Now, when you're keeping your eye on it, when you know that you've got hot leads, how do you treat them different than one that's a new lead? You know what I mean? Like, a new lead's in, you haven't really had that conversation yet, but this hot one, this is the one that you're gonna like go on the appointment with this.
But a new lead could still be a hot lead.
Okay.
Depending on the conversation you're having, right? Because you're still getting the motivation, you're still getting the timeline, you know, and so you're essentially just having to do time management at that point.
Yeah.
You're right? Because you have these hot leads, you can go on an appointment. This new lead came in. Hey, I can go on an appointment with that one too. Hey, I have an appointment at 1. Hey, I can be at your house by 3. Like that kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Remember, guys, this is a question and answer show, so make sure you're putting all your questions into the comments section so that we can get them answered. Also, we'd love to celebrate any success, and we got a little special way to celebrate it that's taken a little while, but it's finally here, and I'm excited to share it. So if you have closed a deal, if you have just locked up a deal, make sure you put it in the comments section. We want to celebrate you and ring that bell. Yes. Das asks, I'm currently working on getting my first deal in California. I built up a pipeline of leads and know that follow-up will be key to success. Looking forward to learning how to do this effectively.
Yeah.
Right?
Time management is literally like the key
term
as far as how you follow up. And it's just going over the same things. You have your hot and your warm and your cold, and understanding, and I know you've gone over this before, what's hot? Right? What's warm? What's cold? And if you don't know, ask. If you need a better idea of how that plays out with a particular lead, because maybe the notes or maybe the information you were trying to get didn't come out in a way that helps you, ask. You know, we're always here. But yeah, just setting up some follow-up goals, you know, and recognizing that your time is fleeting, and so you have to be efficient with it.
So 9 to noon is when I would make my calls when I was starting out.
Yeah.
Noon to 12:15, I would eat lunch.
Okay.
12:15 to 1:30 was lead follow-up.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the afternoon, I'd go on appointments.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
That was it.
And that all, I mean, depending on, again, where you can be consistent, it kind of deviates. Yeah. But yeah, time management is
You already
important.
asked this question.
Oh, I did?
There we go. How many leads should you have in a marketing list? Louis, from Louis. It just depends. I mean, that is a very, 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 very broad question. What are you doing to market? Are you doing traditional marketing where you're paying them to call you? Or are you being proactive and you're calling them, right? Now, it depends on if you are, how many hours you're able to make calls. So typically the equation is 50 addresses per hour, and you want to go through every address twice. All right? 50 addresses per hour, go through every list twice. So do the math. Usually it's about 2,000 addresses if you do 20 hours a week. And that's 2,000 a month. There you go. Go ahead.
Khaldoon.
Yep.
How do I convince a seller to go with my offer in this crazy market? The benefits wholesalers offer doesn't sound too appealing or different from what retail offers. Well, you can't convince anybody.
There we go. I just said it.
Yeah, I mean,
remove convince from your vocabulary in real estate. I'm telling you, it'll serve you the best. And I get it. I get what you're saying here.
Yeah. So, motivation and timeline are important here. I mean, if you do retail or you're listing it or with things like that, some people don't want to go through the financing portion of things. People don't want to go through the showings. And so it's really important to get what their goals are with the sale of their home. And so once you pin those down, maybe wholesale isn't the best option for them. Maybe it isn't. But it's our job to figure out whether or not that, we can do it, or maybe listing it is better for them. And so it just comes down to the qualifying. So you're asking them what their goals are with the property. Well, I need to sell in 2 weeks. Well, I need this. And you have to see if those align with the wholesale process. And if it does, awesome. That's a lead. You continue to follow up. If it doesn't, then you become a resource. And maybe you like, hey, listing, are you familiar with it? This is what happens. And then you're still with them. You still follow up with them because somebody can have it in their mind. Well, I want top dollar and I want to list it. That's how I'm going to get the most money. But then they kind of look at the process and it just doesn't jive with what they're wanting to do. And we want to be with them when that epiphany of sorts happens. So following up with them is still important. But as far as convincing somebody to go with your offer, it's the same thing as anything else. You're looking at what they need, and you educate them on the comps and ask them what they need as far as price. And if it aligns with what you're able to do, then you're doing it. But yeah, you're not changing their mind on what they want. You can only educate them and then look at what their goals are and see if you can make that work for them. Yeah, absolutely. And listen, 6 to 10%. 6 to 10% of the market is what we go after. That's 6 to 10% of all real estate markets around the country are in some sort of distress, whether it be the distress of the actual property, the condition, whether it be financial or whether it be emotional distress. So we focus on the 6 to 10% that want to trade potential equity for speed and convenience. You're going to talk to a tremendous, let me put an emphasis on this, a tremendous amount of people that would never, ever in a million years consider a low offer on their property. Consider a cash offer on their property. Consider what would not be considered a retail offer on their property. Yeah. Find the people that want to trade speed, equity, potential equity for speed and convenience. And I'll start my conversations with people and ask them if they know what I do.
Right.
Oh,
okay.
Do you know the process between a cash offer and listing on MLS?
Yep.
Well, no. Okay, hey, and then you break it down for them. And so, if it doesn't sound appealing, you're not going to know that until they actually know what it is that you do and what you actually offer in the goal.
Yep. Love it.
Yeah.
Are we celebrating? John Johnson, the young phenom, just closed my first 15K assignment. Prove it. There we go.
Yes.
Beyond grateful. Hold on. Congratulations. We're going to do the very first one, John Johnson. I've been asking this for 18 months for this bell to drop down from the ceiling, and here it comes. Let's see how we do. Congratulations, John. You broke in the falling bell. That is great. I just don't like turning my back to the audience. It's a whole thing. It's, whatever.
But
so
now it's
this is perfect.
It's closer to my, huh? What?
Wow, TTP for life. Thank you so
That's
much.
awesome.
John Johnson,
Congrats, John.
absolutely incredible. So thrilled for you. Let's put it back up one more time. Show everybody so that they are. And so
love
look
it.
at that smile.
Look at that smile.
Look at that
Seriously.
smile. Look at him. He's got his
Don't
whiteboard.
stop.
He's got his
Don't
whiteboard.
stop.
TTP for life. Talk to people. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys. It's a philosophy. It
Can't
works.
stop, won't stop.
Yeah, that's
Can't
it.
stop,
That's
won't
it. That's it. Okay. I like that. Edward, do you think it is a good strategy to be upfront with the off-market seller about wholesaling their property?
Always.
Yeah.
Be transparent. People go into this process already assuming that we're there to swindle them
Yeah.
and steal their kids.
Yeah.
You know, and so be completely honest with them and tell them, hey, I don't know if I'm going to be the buyer for you, but I do want to break this down and let you know what it is I do and how it can go, and also give you the options of something else. You know, so be a resource, but beyond anything else, be a resource and see how you can help, and let them know it's like, hey, if the direction is with me and these cash offers and 2 weeks close and post possession or whatever else is going on, then awesome, let's do it. But always be upfront, because it makes the conversations just easier to manage, right? And build trust and rapport. Because if you're constantly trying to dodge, you know, being truthful about something because you think you're going to lose the deal, it's almost never going to work.
People
out.
can feel it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have instincts
There's a
for
vibe.
it. You know what I mean? There's like certain instincts that we have when we're like, oh, this isn't making me feel comfortable. This doesn't feel right.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and Edward, listen, you need to have the financial backing to be able to buy these deals as well. Like, if you're just going to go and straight up be like, hey, listen, I'm not going to be the buyer for this. I'm going to send it to my network of buyers. You're going to do less deals than if you have financial backing and go with the confidence that you are the buyer of those deals. Yeah. So you can go with both. We have it in our contract. I mean, we talk about the ability and the right to market the property while it's in escrow. They ask us, do they ever ask you about that?
No.
Not often.
No, not often.
They would ask me a couple times, and I would just explain exactly that. One of our exit strategies is to reach out to the network of other investors in town and see if they would like to do this project.
Yeah, I'll say that we look at all options.
Yeah.
You know, I don't exactly know what we'll do with this property.
You don't.
Yeah, I don't. And so we base it off of the timing and the price and all these other, you know, varying factors. And so it just gives us an option to do one or the other and whatever works best. I'm going to get you your price.
Yep.
Understand that. I'm going to get you what you need.
Yeah.
And so on our end, we're just going to figure out what's
I can
gonna
help
be
you
best.
achieve your goal.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Nathan, I recently had a seller not want to give access to put a lockbox in the door to bring buyers, contractors, buy. How would you wholesale in that situation? I had to close on it myself because of it. Yeah. That happens.
It
What do you
does.
do in that? When people don't want to give access. We kind of have that deal right now.
Yeah, it's
I literally just signed on the closing for 36th because that tenant doesn't that we talked about 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of a unique type of situation. But sometimes we do that. It's a sight unseen type of deal, and you just, you know, you want the numbers to mesh with what you're capable of and what's going to work out. I always I ask, well, what's the reason?
Yeah.
You know, is it because they're embarrassed about how the house looks, and then you try to, you know, hey, that's not a big deal. That doesn't change, you know, what we're going to pay for the property. We're not going in to nickel and dime you on the cost. That's bad for business.
Right.
And I always put it like this. It's like, I know that's one of the #1 concerns when people sell their house. They're afraid that the inspection period's going to go on. We're going to go in and go, oh, we didn't know about this, we didn't know about that, and they lower the price. So I bring that to the table immediately. I say, I know that's a concern. That is never my objective.
That's huge.
Because at the end of the day, it's bad for business, and I want you to leave me a good Google review, and that's not going to happen if my plan is to come in there and try to lower the price.
Right.
The number that we're working with right now is a number that we're comfortable with and capable of, and so we're not going in there to do that. You know, so, and maybe that's not the reason why they're not allowing people in. You just don't know, so ask. You know, and it give you a better idea, or, you know, some options as far as when you can send those people in. If it's a timing thing and I got to work, or, you know, you just have to be flexible. But ask the question, well, why not?
And Nathan, sometimes what happens, oftentimes when sellers are they're motivated and you got them at the right price, but they're still putting up a guard, a force field, is because another buyer or another wholesaler burned them. Okay, they came in, they didn't know what they were doing, they brought a ton of people in, they locked it up too high, or they tried to push it out too high to make too big of profits, didn't sell, now they're back at square one. That happens a lot. And so the sellers are like, I still want to sell the property, but I'm going to put up these defenses so that I'm not burned again. So you get to go in, you get 24 hours, make the decision if you want to close in this deal. If not, I'm going to sell it to somebody else. And somebody else in your market will do that deal. Make sure you have the financial backing again. Make sure that you have the ability to close on these deals, because it's a huge, huge, huge benefit. Even if you have to split the deal 50-50 with somebody that has the money, somebody that you met up a meetup, or they have a great reputation, you reached out to them on a DM or whatever it is, it's better than nothing. 50% is better than nothing, and you're going to get a tremendous amount of experience.
So 36 you signed on?
I did. Yeah.
What a mess.
Why is it a mess?
Well, I mean, it was just obviously didn't go as smoothly as we wanted to, but it was more of just like the tenant. She was perfectly fine with it, but she ended up going out of town, like legitimately, and just had a family member there who we'd schedule, and then they kicked him out before we could finish the inspection. So we scheduled again. He didn't answer the door.
So we're selling this deal to Roof Stock, and if you guys don't know about Roof Stock, you need to know about Roof Stock and where they buy, because they're buying at ridiculous prices. And I think it's 100 and what, 27, 37? What is it? What are we making on this thing?
I think it's $127.
$127,000. We're going to close on it. It'll probably be about $3-4 grand less because of the title and escrow fees and holding costs, but we'll get that done. The reason we're closing on it is because they wanted to close fast. That's the whole point of it. And then now we have some more control with the tenant to get their inspectors back in. Rooftop brought their inspectors in to take a look, not like real inspectors, but they look at it. And the tenant's family kicked him out. And just said, I got to go. You guys got to get out of here.
Yeah, that's just how it goes sometimes.
Ariel. I am currently hand dialing. What list should I call for better results? Driving $4. If you were hand dialing, if you don't have the budget to get a dialer, what I think would be interesting and effective is if you go with stars in your eyes and fire in your belly and electricity in your feet to all your friends and family members and say, hey, listen, I need a little bit of investment, $2,000 to $5,000 from everybody, so that you can get a dialer, so that you can get Deal Machine, so that you can get batch leads. And now you've got these three things that cost probably about $250 to $300 a month. You've got a year's worth of those expenses, and now you're sprinting, right? Because the difference between hand dialing is like, kind of just leisurely walking down the street, and a dialer is being strapped into a Ferrari going just blasting down. Like an F1 racing car type of, right? You're going to get to where you want to go faster, Ariel, if you get those things. So go and use your enthusiasm for this business, and use your enthusiasm about what you want to do with your life, and bring it to your family. Somebody will support you. I'm telling you, somebody out there will support you.
But do it all the way.
Yeah.
All the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the difference. The difference between really the people that, kind of do okay or do it for a while and then fizzle out, versus the people that stay in this and really impact and leave a legacy for their family, is they love this business.
Yeah.
They love the business.
They understand what it can do for them.
Right.
Yeah. But people, they'll put a leg in the water and be like, okay, well, this is good. Well, I'm not getting any deals. I'm not, and that's just how it happens. But the people who invest their time, their life, their mind into the business, that's where good stuff happens. And that's just with any industry. That's with anything in life. Invest everything you have into it if it's what you really want to do, and good things will happen.
And that's how you really find out, because, I just wrote it down, uninformed optimism.
Yeah.
That's what we start with. We're like, we don't know. We're uninformed. We're optimism. I see these guys doing it. I like what's going on there. I watch, interviews on this YouTube channel, or I listen to a podcast of people being successful. Sounds amazing. Yeah. And you just have to make sure that you keep the optimism when you get informed, because you don't want informed pessimism. Right? And that's what happens if you let this get to you, if you let the rejection get to you, if you let the repetition get to you, if you don't think that this is going to be the most challenging thing that you've ever done in your entire life. But I will tell you this, and I will tell you this from personal experience. When you look back, when you're out of the firefight, when you're out of the tornado of learning and doing all these things and getting started, and you look back, you're going to look back fondly. It's going to be some of the best memories that you have is when you were absolutely challenged and you overcame that challenge. I am telling you, it just takes practice and consistency. You got this.
Yeah. I like to think, how do the young kids who are doing this, who haven't really experienced a lot of failure yet?
Yeah, sure.
Like what mindset must you have to get into this business, be confident enough in yourself, and just do it? Because we're old guys at this point. We've gone through the fire, we've failed, we've gotten back up, and we understand the taste of the bad
grind.
taste, right? Yeah,
The hustle season.
The hustle.
Yep.
And so then you get to a point, and you're like, this feels great. I did my part.
Yeah.
I put my dues in, and here we are. So
Well, remember when you started and you're like, I want to be the best. I want to be great at this.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm good at this. I really need to practice. I need more practice.
Because it was so new. I'd never done anything.
I don't know
like,
if I'll be good at this. And now you're the world's greatest. The continents, whatever. Continents.
Yeah, so I think about those young guys, those young girls, those people who are like, hey, this is my first job, really.
Well, I think that I honestly believe this. The younger generation is way smarter at modeling.
Absolutely.
Modeling. Not trying to just, force this and do this. There's so much information out there that you can model and then just start taking action.
Yeah,
and that's what's important to everybody out there. You need to, whatever content that you're looking at, you need to filter it through three things. Is this entertainment? Right? All the flashy stuff. Watch me buy this new purse for my girl. Watch me buy this watch. Let me look at my cars. That's all entertainment.
Yeah.
All right? That's just entertainment. That's not even education. That's the second filter is education. Am I learning something here? Is there something about the process that I'm learning? And the third one is instruction. Here is what to do. Here is the action plan. If you focus on content that gives you instruction, you will win faster, longer, and actually keep it.
Yeah.
If you follow people that are just entertaining and it's just like, wow, that's inspiring, they're doing great, and I want to be like them, you're just wasting your time. Find the instruction. Find the go do this, and you're going to win.
The people who get you in the door and go, okay, cool, good to see you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
All right. Yeah, that's it. All right, contract season worldwide. I've been following up with a seller for the past 6 months. She was in pre-foreclosure. Maybe something has changed. She told me she needs 1 year now before she sells. Yeah, okay. maybe she got caught back up, or more likely she probably just had what she owed on the loan put on the back of it and did a loan modification, and that gave her some breathing room. But I'm telling you, if she had that problem, it's going to come back up again.
Yeah.
I mean, unless there's some dramatic changes. So I would just see what's going on, see how they got out of that situation, and see why did they want to sell this property? Seriously, why? What's their motivation to sell this property? Why did they? Okay, they were in pre-foreclosure, so there's obviously some financial distress there. Is that gone? Because let me tell you, it doesn't magically disappear. Now, they might have lowered her payments and put more on the back end, but they'll probably increase the payments at some point.
I want to know the specific timeline. When somebody says, oh, I need 3 to 6 months. Okay, what's special about that time? I need a year. Oh, okay. Well, what's going to happen in a year? Like,
right.
I want to know those. It's very specific. It's different than someone who says, "Hey, I need to sell ASAP. Hey, I want to sell in 2 weeks." That's very in your face right now. Let's go.
Yep.
But a year from now, like I would ask that question. Oh, okay. Well, what's special about a year from now? What's happening then?
Yeah. Love it. Steve, been looking forward to this topic. When acquisition managers follow up with sellers, what are their objectives and goals for the convo? Love it.
Yes, that's a great
Floor
question.
is yours, brother.
Basically, just to gather as much information as I can, right? So hopefully they've been pre-qualified already. We know what their motivation is. We know what their timeline is.
Real quick, so our phone prospectors, our text, we have one guy that sends out text. They'll send the leads in with all the information. Ryan then gets that information, goes through it, and then this is where he's going to go and try to fill in any gaps that he needs to be able to get this deal done. All right. Now, with an internet lead, It's basically just going to Chad and he's pulling it out, or you, and you're pulling it out off the bat. Okay.
Yep.
That's the difference between leads coming in from cold calling and text is they're going to be more pre-qualified than just somebody calling you with the initial conversation.
Right.
So usually there's a first conversation and then the second one when Ryan's really taken over or Chad's taken over to really dig in and get more, fill in the gaps.
But Steve, the main objective is basically shortening the timeline.
Yep.
Because we say it time and time again on this show is time kills all deals.
Yep.
And so I really want to dive down deep into, well, what is your timeline? When do you want to do this? If you get the price, you get the offer that you want, are you wanting to put something together today? Are you looking for more offers? Let me know so I can make sure I follow up with you accordingly. So that's on a follow-up. Hey, where are you at in the process? You know, have you gotten offers already?
Yeah.
You know, has anything changed? You know, so those are the things that I want to pull out to see if, like, they are ready for me to come on an appointment.
Love it.
If they're ready for us to really get down to what the terms are going to be because they're wanting to put something together right then and there. But all in all, it's shortening that timeline so we can actually get a deal put together.
And by the way, shout out to Rafael Cortez. He is not here today.
Yeah,
he got
where's
his
Raph?
wisdom teeth out.
Ooh.
So he looks like a chipmunk right now.
Yeah, sure.
So
We
he
should've had
didn't
him
want
on
to come in
the-
with
should've had
it.
him on the show.
Yeah, we'll like FaceTime him in or something. That'd be great. Nathan, can a seller back out of a deal after accepting the offer?
I mean, the seller can do anything they want, but it's basically, I mean, once they accept an offer and they sign an agreement, it's a legally binding contract.
Yep.
And I put that, that's a conversation I have with them up front. So even with that conversation, they can back out and you have to have that, you know, the put out the fire type of situation. But I'll say, hey, this is a commitment between you and I. This is a legally binding contract. I feel like we've come to an agreement on what's comfortable for you, what's comfortable for us, and let's go.
Yeah.
But just yesterday, the land deal that we got, we put something together yesterday, and then he ended up talking to
Which land deal? Where's it at?
AJ.
Really? Nice.
And then he called me yesterday and said that he spoke to his sister and they don't like the deal. They don't like the price.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, okay, what don't they like about the price? Well, they want to do more research. I'm like, okay, well, in order to do what? You know, I feel like when you and I have talked, you know, we did the research. We did the research together, and we put the deal together because it was comfortable for you. It made sense for us with the market.
Yeah.
So what is it that they're looking to accomplish? Well, they're just not happy with the price. And I go, okay, and I get that, and I understand. I don't want anyone to work. I don't want to force anyone to work with us. This is how I see the situation. You're getting a good price. I'm gonna get this done for you. What could happen is you do this research and you cancel with us, and that research just shows you that you got a good price to begin with, and then where are you at? You know, and so again, you know, it's something that we can figure out. I mean, I don't want to lose this deal. I don't want to stop working with you. So you tell me what's going to be the best course.
What do you say?
He said, well, let me talk to him, and then I'll get back to you. I go, sure. So I'll tell you this right now. You know, we spoke earlier about it being a contract. This is a legal binding agreement. We've already put effort into it. We've opened escrow.
Yep.
And so what I'll have to do is see what my finance manager is going to allow me to do for you. And if that means we can work it out to where we can make this, I don't know, smooth it out and make it better for you and your sister, or if that means it turns into a legal thing that we obviously don't want to get into, we want to avoid, I don't know. But I want to make sure that you're still comfortable with us. And he was.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. But it may turn into a probate thing, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, just
yeah.
They
so
don't have the ownership.
No, it was a woman's property, and then it got willed to his dad, and then his dad got some health issues, and then it was yeah. So it's a thing, but they're under contract, and we'll just kind of put out the fires from there.
Love it.
Yeah, that was a lot.
That was a lot. That was. I'll tell you what. You handled that perfectly. Sometimes you gotta just. Okay.
Yeah.
You told me this is your goal. Did your goal change?
Right. Right.
What made your goal change?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's
And
what
I
you circle back to.
And I told him, I said, just based on opinion, this is how I feel like it's going. Because he already kind of given me an idea of how his family is.
Yeah.
I said, this was left to you. You are power of attorney. And so they feel like they want more control. And by trying to take more control, they're going to effectively lose this deal for you.
Right.
You know, and I don't know if that's the case, but that's kind of how I see it.
It usually is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Javier, Brent, what if the houses isn't destroyed, but the asking price is good, but the timeline is 60 days or more? Yeah. That's great. I'm just telling you, Javier, there's going to be 100 people that reach out that give them a higher offer. If you already agree, if you talked price and they're not willing to sell for 60 to 90 days, they're going to leverage your price.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Sometimes it's so hard not to talk price, right? Especially if they're like, well, just tell me, just what's your offer? What's your offer? And you get homeowners who are just wanting to pull that out of you,
Yeah.
right? Because they're just using you at that point.
Yeah.
And I don't want to just throw numbers at you. You're not wanting to sell for 60 days. I don't know what's happening with
There's
this
a lot of
market.
changes,
There's
yeah.
a lot of changes that can happen. And so when you're closer to wanting to actually put something together, I will do my due diligence to get you something accurate so we don't need to change it down the road.
Right.
Yeah.
But what price were you thinking?
yeah. Well, what's your neighborhood like? You know the area better than I do.
Right.
What research have you done?
Right.
Yeah.
Love it. What research have you done is such a powerful question. I love that you asked that question. What research have you done?
Yep.
That's awesome. Oh, boy.
Dang,
oh,
another
boy.
one.
HBI Home Solutions locked up 2 duplexes that I buy and hold myself, $160K in equity after rehab. TTP.
It's going to be a loud one. I know. Let me.
Right above your head. A little lower. There we go. Yes.
I love it.
Oh, I love it. Look at it just whip back
know.
up. That is technology.
Somebody's going to
there.
get hit in the head with that one
Now,
day.
if you could see how elaborate this
Yeah.
system is that we put together here for
Somebody
this.
on a string. Just.
If you guys like this, I mean, I'm really proud about this.
Yeah.
If you like this, put like some flames or put something in the comments or hit the like button or whatever it is. Hit that. And guys, if you are not subscribed yet, you need to subscribe to this channel. We come out with instruction every single day. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that like button, subscribe, and get notified. It's right there. Boom. All right. Hi, Brent. I'm in Dallas. How does cash for keys work? Signed contract first by Richard. Yeah. Cash for keys, absolutely. So there's a lot to unpack there, Richard, and I love that you asked this question because I feel like the last, and you really got thrown into it over the last couple of years, is working with tenants.
Yep.
Working with people that have, maybe they have a longer term on their lease and you try to give them cash for keys to shorten that term so that buyers can get in there and get their hands into the rehab efforts of that property.
Trying to avoid an eviction.
Yes, yeah, and try to avoid the process of eviction because that just drags out and it costs money and it puts an eviction on somebody's credit score and that just... It's really tough to get an eviction off of your credit and to find a place that you can actually sign for. And it's a mess. You don't want people to go through that.
Right.
All right? So cash for keys, yes, 100% you have to have the purchase agreement signed first. And what would you say? Would you have the conversation, if the seller permits it, would you have the conversation with the tenant as you're negotiating with the owner about cash for keys after?
After.
Every time?
Yeah,
And then
every
what
time.
do you do and say?
Because I don't like to put the idea of cash, extra cash, into the mix for the tenants.
Yeah.
At the very beginning.
Right.
Because I'd like to, or I try to, figure out a way for them to get out of the house without it, if it's
Right.
possible.
Yeah, sure.
Right. But sometimes they need a down payment, or sometimes they need X, Y, and Z.
Moving.
But you're not. Yeah. But you're not going to know that until you have the conversation, and you can hint with it. You can be like, hey, well, what's it going to take? How can I help you move on to your next spot? But I'm not going to say, hey, if I give you money, will you leave?
Yeah.
Not initially. Because then automatically it turns into, well, okay, I can get money. How much money can I get? And the more the time draws out, the higher it just turns into this another whole negotiation thing that you have to go through. And I try to avoid it until like the last bit of our options. I guess.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it. Can we throw up the Matt Throw up another meme. I've got 3 memes that are in the pipeline for
Is
today's
it
show.
memes or memes?
Don't say it like that. Oh my God. Get out.
Memes?
Oh, I like the. I love
Hey,
it.
I was talking to Daniel. We were talking about, is it GIF or GIF?
GIF.
Because he said GIF.
Right.
But it's like graphic, whatever.
Yeah,
the I and the
I say
S are.
GIF.
So do I.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but they're
anyway,
technical.
I know it's memes. It's just,
We're just, we went to NAU. He's
Yeah.
like, speaking like it's Harvard. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
Like he's going like high end.
Yeah, we're.
There it is. Introverts after making it through a sales call. It's done. Right?
I never want to do that again.
Right?
Oh, wait, I haven't. I need to make
First of all, I think it's very interesting when people label themselves anything, whether they label themselves an introvert, whether they label themselves, an entrepreneur, whether they label themselves a winner or a loser or whatever it is. Labels matter.
They do.
Labels matter big time. And I think in this business, you need to just knock out that whole I'm an introvert thing because it's not true. I guarantee you, if you and I went out to lunch, you would talk my face off. Guaranteed.
It's like telling
You know
yourself
what I mean?
a lie over and over and over again, and eventually you start to believe
Believe
that
it.
lie, right?
It's incredible.
If you call yourself an introvert, you automatically believe that you're not meant to deal with society,
Right.
and deal with people. And
What,
that's
because
just
you were shy in high school? Because you were shy in junior high? You're not there anymore.
Because you
Maybe
don't know
are,
what
but
type of conversation to have or how to have a conversation like fluidly. That just takes practice. It's all just.
And even if you were shy, evolve.
Yeah.
Change, grow, do it. You know what I mean? I mean, like, stop putting this label that you're going to live your whole life with. How about that you're constantly evolving? You know what I mean? It's constant, never-ending improvement.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's important in this business for you to have confidence.
My dad used to tell me that people naturally take the path of least resistance.
Right.
Right? Because it's easy. They're
Right.
in this comfort zone, they're in this bubble, and they're nice and warm in here, but there's nothing in here for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And in order to be successful, in order to make something of yourself or have new experiences and adventures, you have to get out of that comfort zone.
Yes.
You have to, start taking steps forward. You have to, go to Target and just say hi to a random person. Hey,
Right.
how's your day?
Yeah.
You have to do those things.
Great
And maybe,
shoes.
Yeah, maybe they
Great
look at you
shirt.
and go,
Oh, my gosh.
but that's okay. Do it to the next person, and the next person, and the next person, and then eventually someone's going to go, hey, my day's great. How's yours?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And that's uncomfortable to a lot of people.
And smile.
And smile.
Yes. Don't go up and be like, hey,
How's your day?
how's your day? Okay.
I see you're looking at chips.
Chin up.
I like chips.
Posture strong.
Yeah.
Smile on your face. Sparkle in your eye. You got this.
Yeah, absolutely.
The labels, it's silly. It's absolutely silly. Nobody on here should just put negative labels on themselves or restrictive labels on themselves. You should be going out there and absolutely doing everything you can to provide value to the community.
Yep.
And you can't do that if you're just in yourself. It's selfish.
Yeah,
Just knock it off. All right?
I love it.
All right, Joshua, what do you do when there is a raise order on the property? Yeah, I mean, but land value. It's basically they have to raise. Raise is knocking over the property and just getting the yeah. So Joshua, you got to get it at land value, and typically if there's a raise order, it's in a really lower priced area or lower priced neighborhood. So you need to get that land at like nothing.
That's what we did with
for
this
real.
Apache Junction when it was a fire. It's like,
And then you have to bulldoze it, right?
done,
you have
yeah.
to raise it.
Mhm. Well, I don't,
How much
I
should
don't
we
know-
get the
I don't
lot
know-
for?
I don't know.
I've never even
raise.
heard of this deal. Do you guys not talk to me anymore?
No.
You guys are just okay.
No, we do our own thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
We talk to you when you need you to write a check or sign
Work on the business, not in the business.
Yeah. No, it was a fire, and
Yeah.
it's like completely demolished, and we got it for 20.
You dog. You did not.
I did.
You did not. Is it an actual house or is it a
No, it was a
manufactured?
It was a mobile home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Great question.
Raise.
Yeah. It's a real estate term. It's a like one of the vocab words. Alejandra's going through her licensing
nice. Okay.
course right now for real estate, so she knows. What's the best way to build a buyer's list if you're doing virtual wholesaling in other markets? We've had a lot of success with Investor Lift. We really have. They give you a discount code with TTP. But it's been solid. I mean, Jeremy's been able to get access to the top buyers in the markets, because what they do is they rate people based on how many properties they're buying, and then they skip trace, and then they get all the information, and they verify that it's the right information, and then you call them. So it's pretty slick. The other way is if you go to TTP Insider, ttpinsider.com, because Investor Lift is expensive. It's not for everybody. TTP Insider, go and get the Cash Buyer Pack. It's going to step you through how to get the 100 top cash buyers in your marketplace, and you want to build great relationships with these people. But yeah, go get that pack, download it, and it'll show you step by step what to do to get those top 100 buyers.
Cool.
Yep. Justin, what's up? How do I keep following up without feeling annoying and stale every time I call? I love this. This is great.
I know, and that's kind of the fear, right? With people who are afraid to follow up because they feel like they're just bothering them.
Right.
And so I'll basically just say, hey, please let me know if this is too much. I just want to make sure that I'm here when you're ready to sell.
That's it.
Yeah.
Justin, it's all your tone of voice.
Yeah.
Stale is your tone of voice. Remember, your tone of voice is, and I love that you're doing that, that is your body language when you're on the phone, is your tone of voice. Mm-hmm. That's how you're communicating a lot of different things in the way that you use your tone. It's crazy, right? I mean, you could say the same sentence with different tones, and it comes out completely different every single time. So just use that kindness and optimism, right? You want to be kind and optimistic. You want to be certain and kind, right? You want to be confident. So just go there and just have that enthusiasm in your voice, and it's not going to sound like, you're just, hey, Bob, how are you? You want to sell the house? No, you go in with some energy. Hey, great getting a hold of you. Just touching base. I know that you said you didn't want to sell until August. I just want to see if anything changed. No? Okay, great. Do you need anything?
Yep.
I've got a network of everything. I've got different contractors. I've got anything that you need for your house. Do you need anything? No? Okay, great. All right. I'll touch base with you. Can I touch base with you in a week or two? Okay, great. Boom.
That's it.
You know what I mean? So, first of all, get rid of that whole annoying thing. You're not going to lose deals from excess fault. Have you ever lost because they're like, you followed up too much, and I don't want to do business with you?
No, I've gotten deals because they're like, you're the only one that keeps calling me.
Right.
6 months.
You will win with excess follow-up. You will not lose.
Yeah,
you will not lose.
The only thing that changes is if you're following up too much, like in a day or something like that.
Right, of course.
Yeah, but over time, I mean, you call somebody.
So I say the max that you should call a new lead in a day is 3.
It's like 3, yeah.
Yeah, 3 by 3.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm still following up with a lead from like 4 years ago.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Let's get Alejandra on. Look at that. She's got her snakeskin outfit on. There we go. Alejandra, by the way, be nice to Alejandra. She's the one picking out the comments. Are we getting anything from IG, or is IG goofy today?
It's a little goofy today.
Really?
Yeah. I can't see the comments, so I can see them, but I can't
You would have to.
I have to type them.
Type them. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Got it. Okay. Closing
if you guys are on IG, go to YouTube. If you have questions.
Yeah. If you guys are on IG, go to Brent Daniels' YouTube channel and check us out. You get the full thing, and we can get to your questions. Sorry, I don't know. IG gets goofy sometimes. All right, contract season worldwide. We better drop this, huh? Look at this. Here we go. Watch out, Ryan. You're in. Wait. Why are you messing with me?
I was trying to get it as low as
you almost got it. You almost got it.
He's like pulling it. I'm trying to ring it. What is going on here? This is, you know what? I see what's going on. I see what you're doing to me, because I've been bitching about this for, 500 days straight. Congratulations, 10K assignment. I would keep all of it.
Beanie Babies.
Yeah.
No more Beanie.
No, Beanie Babies. They don't know.
Oh yeah, I don't know how old they are.
Yeah, keep it. Honestly, keep it. Don't do it literally
Don't spend it.
dialer, deal machine, and batch leads.
And taxes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you got to save for taxes, of course, but make sure that you're not going crazy. Do what you did to get that deal. All right? Stay focused on that.
Good job. Keep going.
Yep.
Keep going.
Are people liking this? People liking the drop down?
Ask the question.
Do we have any fires in the
Oh
comments?
yeah, we have a ton.
Brent, closing 2 deals tomorrow, $30K deal, and holding 1 lead for Burroff.
I don't know what.
Buy, rent, rehab,
Owner finance.
owner finance. Santiago, nice.
Yeah.
I love it. Congratulations, 30K deal
Congrats.
and 1 for the portfolio. Sorry, Ryan. Woo!
I mean, I love all the wins, but my left ear does not. I mean,
You need to just.
You need to go to more concerts. You think you have
Yeah,
a bad
concerts.
ear?
Oh, yeah.
This guy has shot more firearms than anybody in
that's
here.
true, but I wore
Yeah.
double ear
Yeah,
protection.
oh, double. Okay.
Yes.
Shearer, Sarah Zamir asks, how do you get a seller to gradually reduce their price as you follow up with them?
I won't talk numbers with them at all.
Okay.
Until I know
Go into
they're-
that because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think this is really important
Okay,
to kind of
so-
stick this point.
When you are qualifying a lead, it becomes a lead, and you figure out that their timeline is not tomorrow, a week from now, whatever it is, I'm not talking numbers. I'm just not. Because if I talk numbers and they're not wanting to sign right then and there,
Yep.
and they're 2-3 months out, then they're just going to use my number to go talk to, 20 other people like me, and then I'll never hear from them again.
Yep.
So my follow-up is more about condensing that timeline and figuring out if they've made progress and what they might need from me. Now, in that follow-up, if I say, hey, are you closer to wanting to sell? Well, yeah, no, I mean, I think I'm ready. I'm like, okay, all right, well, and then you get into, well, what research have you done, right? Where are you at in the process? Have you thought about what you need out of the sale of your home to move on to your next place? So all of those things, and when I know that if we get to a number that we can both agree to, that they will put pen to paper right then and there, then I'll talk numbers.
Yep.
Because anything before that, I'm basically just throwing my deal away, throwing my lead away, because I'm not going to hear from it. Because if it's too low, right? They want a certain number, and you threw out something that's 50,000 less, you're already off the board. Oh, well, they're not going to give me what I need, and they're not going to answer your calls.
Yep.
So I do not talk numbers until you actually know that they're ready to go.
Yep.
And those people who go, well, just, hey, just give me an offer, just give me an offer. I just basically say this, like, listen, I don't want to waste your time with inaccurate numbers.
Yep.
When you you're ready to go, I want to make sure I'll do my due diligence to make sure I get the value of your house and try to get you what you need. But yeah, anything before, hey, I want to sign right here, right now, I'm not gonna throw out a number.
What are some of the reasons that people have for having a longer timeline?
I mean, it could be a number of things. Maybe they're just not sure.
Yeah.
The market's hot, and so they want to sell, but they want to do their due diligence to try to make sure they get the highest price possible.
Okay.
And so they're talking to
But do
investors.
we lock those deals up?
If they're like down the road?
Yeah.
Well, if I can,
What I'm saying is, like, if somebody's like, well, I'm not sure if I'm convinced that I want to sell the property. I mean, how often do those turn into, okay, I want to sell and here's the deal? Versus them already having made the decision that they're going to sell it.
Yeah, not often. Yeah,
Right.
if they're not convinced, it's like, okay, well, I mean, I go back to what's your goal?
Yeah.
Well, I just want to see what it's worth. Okay, all right.
Okay, great.
All right, and if you find out what it's worth and it's a number that you like.
Let me look up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. If it's a number that you like, are you wanting to sell right here, right now, if it agrees with you, or we can get to an agreement? Well, no, and you're like, okay, well then that's it.
Yep.
But I'm still not going to throw out a number. I don't even like throwing out a range.
Right.
I just don't. I don't even remember what the question was, but the follow up.
No, it's just how do you get them to get lower on their price over time, and it's, whatever.
The negotiating a price happens in one conversation. Whether that conversation is 20 minutes or that conversation's 2 hours. It's all right then and there. I don't want to call someone one day and go, oh, well, we can offer this.
Yeah.
And then call them, the next day or next week and go, oh, well, I'll offer this. It doesn't jive well with the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vasily, Ryan, what was the most creative way that you converted a lead into a deal?
Creative way. I don't know if it was creative, it was more consistent.
Yeah.
Just going to a property and somebody just not really knowing the value and knowing the process, but I'm on that appointment and I go, hey, I know you guys want to sell your house. I get that. That's why I'm here. So now it's our job to work together to figure out what's going to work best for you. I'm not leaving, by the way. Did I tell you that? I'm not going to leave until we figure this out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's a joke, but I said it in a joking manner. And they're like, okay. Well, what do you need? I'm like, what do you need? You know?
I don't know.
I don't know. What do you need? And so it was basically just being consistent with my conversation and telling them, it's like, listen, I know this is what you want to do, so we're going to figure it out. Whatever the time frame is, we're going to figure it out. I told them that if they didn't like me sleeping in the house, I'd get a sleeping bag and sleep on their lawn.
There you go.
You know? Yeah. And I don't know if that's creative, but it's I went to the deal.
I think people fall. I think where this is coming from is people have. I think people have an impression that you go on this appointment and you pull out like certain techniques for different people at different times. You have to understand we are focused on getting massive wholesale deals. Okay, what you focus on increases. All right, that's the absolute truth. You don't get what you want, you get what you attract. You attract it by keeping a solid focus. We're not going out to do creative deals.
Yeah.
We're not going out to do a fix and flip. We're not going out to add to our rental portfolio. We're going out to get big, massive deals. My philosophy is this: get as much money out of this business as possible to be able to take home to everybody on the team, to myself, to be able to then go and buy assets. Okay? That's the philosophy. I'm not standing here cherry picking deals to add to my rental portfolio from their efforts and going, okay, go there and then lock it up under these terms and do all this type of thing. I have no interest in that. Like, there's a reason 80% of the deals you're going to do are from tired landlords. It's because being a landlord is tough. It is a long and hard business. You need to have that as its own thing. Every property, let me make this very clear. Every property that you own is its own small business. I want to stay focused on coaching, and I want to stay focused on wholesaling real estate. So when we go in, we're not going in and trying to... Ryan could lock up every single deal that he goes on an appointment, no doubt about it. If we wanted to do something creative, if we wanted to lock up these deals that are in rough shape, but we're able to do some sort of owner financing or do a wrap or do a lease option or do a lease purchase, we could go into all of those things, do a novation, do all these things, right? We stay focused on cash deals because we want a huge bank account to be able to go and fund our lifestyle and fund our assets. That's what we focus on. If you go out with every single different technique in your toolbox, you are going to leave so much money on the table.
Oh, I see what the question is.
Right.
So the creative finance.
Right. Well, no,
okay.
I'm just saying. I think he gets it. Like, how did you
Yeah.
convert it? Like, did you say something and do something?
Yeah.
I think the front part of that is what's the goal and how much research have you done already?
Yeah.
If you start with that, guys, those two things right there are probably the two most powerful ways to start that conversation, that appointment that you could possibly have. What is your goal and how much research have you done? Do you know how much that tells you about what's going on with them? It's so powerful. Implement it right now. Seriously.
Yeah. No.
Yep. Samuel, how do you handle a seller that has unrealistic expectations for how much their property is worth? This is a daily basis for you.
All the time. I'd like to
What
know.
did they initially want for that land? Or was that pretty much...
No, they didn't know. They didn't
Okay.
have an idea.
Yeah.
And so I basically just looked in the area and we kind of went over some of the comps for just land,
Yeah.
which was few and far, but like we just looked at property, like square footage, and then came up with the number that worked for him and how much he wanted to net, and then it just worked out.
Yeah.
But everybody has unrealistic expectations. So I always want to know what helped them get to that figure. How did you get to that number? And then you break down what kind of research they did, and then you're basically just educating them.
Yep.
So if it's unrealistic, because, most people are.
Yeah.
You just, well, hey, you know, I always say this, I'll never tell people what to sell their house for.
Yep.
I can only tell them what makes sense to us.
Perfect.
Right? And so it's just...
You guys hear that nuance there? I'm not going to tell you what to sell your house for. I'm just going to tell you what we can offer you.
Right.
Right?
Right. Exactly. And so...
and
so
that relieves the friction.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, they're sitting there like, oh, this person's going to convince me to do something that I don't want to do. And you're like, listen, I'm not going to convince you of anything.
You can win $1 million, and that's fine. Hey.
Take $1 million.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, it's at that point, it's just educating them on the market, on their neighborhood, on their house, and how it compares to other houses, and saying, hey, this is how we assess value. Okay, this I'm just laying it down. This is what we look at.
Yep.
Now, what do you think? Ask me questions.
Love it. Brett asks, I'm working with a vacant house, and he doesn't want to sign a contract before we perform an inspection. We go through this. Should I advertise to buyers, and once they do their due diligence, do I commit with the seller?
So they want the inspection first to know that you're committed to it, and you're not going to change the price, you know, down the road once the contract's locked up. And that's a tough one. I told them, like, listen, we're not going to spend resources to get somebody out to do all of that until we know that it's going to work for us. What I can do is, I can go through and I can take some pictures and do my due diligence and talk with my finance guy. But at the end of the day, when we come to an agreement and we have pen to paper, we're still going to have to do the inspection period. What's your concern? What's your concern?
Yep.
You're going to
see how he answered the question and then he asked the question. Answer their question and then ask the question. If you just always respond, and sometimes you can respond to a question with a question, sometimes if it's appropriate.
Sure.
But answer the question and then respond, and you're going to get a lot further. It's going to open the door a lot more.
Yeah.
All right? And with this, listen, you can take pictures. You can run it by your top buyers, but make sure that you know what price they want.
Yeah.
Like, if you agree on price and they're like, well, you can just go in there, and you're like, okay, well, if I see something different, I might have to lower the price or whatever else. But at least know what they want for the property. Anytime a student in my TTP coaching program texts me, hey, can you comp this and let me know if this is a deal? And I ask 2 questions. What is the price and their timeline? What's their price and timeline? That's what I want to know. Because if you just start throwing prices at them and they're not ready to sell now, it's just a waste of your time. And I don't want my students wasting their time.
Yeah.
All right? And then what price they want, that's setting the expectations. So if they're just like, hey, will you comp this? And you don't know the timeline or the price that they want or anywhere close to that, you're usually spinning your wheels. You're just being you're being a appraiser for them. And that doesn't get you paid because you're not a licensed appraiser. So stop doing work for them until they give you something back.
Yeah, and sometimes you're not going to get the price, right? Because people want to hold
sure.
that close to cuff. But the timeline is going to be it's going to be huge because a comp now is going to be so much different than a comp 3 months from now.
Right. But if somebody's like, hey, I want to sell, we're going to make a decision this week. What's your best offer? Well, how do you handle that?
Well, what are you looking for?
Right. Well, no. You give me your offer.
Well, I can't give you an offer now. I mean, how can I do that? Have I seen the house? Help me. I mean, what can I do for you? But I got to be able to see. I got to be able to see the inside. So,
people have told me that they'll buy sight unseen.
Oh, that's awesome. Great for those people. What's kept you from working with them?
Right. Bow! Who is this guy? Look, this is the world, Ryan. All right, and there's you. Look at you. You got some long legs and some big arms. There's you, the world's greatest acquisition manager. Look at that. I got that whole board cleared off so I could draw that for you. Isn't that nice?
It's not.
All right.
We have some better pictures we can show.
Yeah. Well, pull up the last meme after this. Closing on a $30K deal today from a deal that's been in escrow since August. Came from Driving for Dollars and picking up the phone. TTP. Matt Barry, let's go. You want to ring this one? There you go.
Oh, okay.
Give Matt some
I can't
love.
plug both my ears if I ring it.
Double ring.
Dang. Nice, Matt.
Congratulations, Matt. That
awesome.
is incredible. Keep that money. Keep that money invested. Big checks. Ugly houses, big checks. Ugly houses, big checks. All right, let's put this last one on. This is for all those laydowns, right? This seems a little too easy. Do you ever feel that way? You ever feel that way with like a hot lead and you're like, wait a second, what's happening?
And then
here?
I show up,
Yep.
and they don't answer the door.
Oh, yeah, right. From like a text blast lead or something. Yeah.
Remember when I tried to do that in charades at your house?
Yes. Yeah, that was terrible. Yeah. Indiana Jones. Yeah. Rudy, spoke with a lady today, property worth $1.5 million here in Miami, asked me to write her a letter with credentials, and she would consider an offer. I can be at 1.2. What should I put as my credentials? Interesting. How would you handle this?
Credentials?
Yeah, how many properties have you bought? Where's your company located? What's your website? Who do you work? Who's your title and escrow company? That's what a lot of the people in that $1 million+ range want.
Right, because they want to make sure you're a serious buyer.
Right.
I mean, I do that. I mean, if you have the credentials, but even if you don't, if that's what she's looking for, I would do my due diligence. There's a Bill, one of your Rafter, yeah, one of his students. He likes, I don't remember what he calls it, but he calls it a packet. Maybe just call it a credential packet or something like that. Yep. And he prepares it, and he has a picture of his family or his business partners or whatever it is, and he presents it to the homeowners and lets them read through it to gives them an idea of who you are and what you do. Mm-hmm. And so it seems like that's kind of what this is, but I don't see any problem with writing her a letter with what you've done, and what your credentials are. If she's asking you, she's asking everyone else.
And Rudy, if you don't have that long history, find somebody in your market that you could squat up with and leverage their history. Who's the biggest person in town that you could split this deal with? Yeah. The other thing I want to say is 1.2 for 1.5 isn't a big enough discount. Not even close. If that thing needs love, you're in hundreds of thousands of dollars fixing it up because everything costs more. Baseboards cost more, doorknobs cost more, light fixtures cost more, appliances cost more. All of those things cost more when you get above $1 million. Maybe not in Miami. Maybe it's like in a dope area in Miami and it costs nothing. Well, not as much because it's a smaller property and it's just a real popular area. But if I'm at 1.5, I'm trying to get that thing for one minimum. Yeah. Minimum.
And I'd also want to know what her...
Huh? Yeah, go to IKEA.
As far as credentials, because I feel like it's so broad sometimes. I'm like, well, what's your... What exactly are you needing? What's going to make you comfortable with me?
And also, a lot of times, they're just doing that to collect investors. And are they ready to sell? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I wouldn't put my number. I wouldn't put my offer on there.
No. Yeah. And I wouldn't even send anything unless I knew that they're going to make a decision in the next 30 days. I mean, what's the point? Yeah. I'm telling you, if you just send me an email with this or write me a letter and send this to me. No. How about I hand deliver this letter and we meet each other?
Yeah, I like that.
How about that?
Yeah.
No, we're not ready for that. Okay, when do you think you will be ready to meet potential buyers for this property of yours? We're not sure yet. Okay, great. I'll follow up.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd have a problem with doing like a little letter, because sometimes we do handwritten notes and it sets you apart from. I mean, how many people has she asked to do this, and how many people actually did it?
Brian.
I'm sure. But I mean, look at your time management. If write the woman a letter. Yeah. Send it to her. Yep. And it can be something she puts on her refrigerator. I don't know, but what does it hurt in the grand scheme of things? Yep. That's my take.
Love it. Jose, as an agent, is it a good idea to start a call with, would you consider a retail offer or cash offer? No. One path only, Jose. One path. You are a cash buyer. Yes. If you're calling on distressed properties and you go, hey, I could do retail or I could do this, you're going to confuse the hell out of everybody. Yeah.
It should be an option.
People don't even know what retail means. We know what retail means. But they don't know what retail means. Do you want a retail offer? What does that even mean? Yeah. They're going to say, you might say, do you want to sell it for market value? That might even be over a lot of people's heads. You know what I mean?
And they would automatically say yes.
Yes, right. Yeah, every time.
Yeah. Every time. I think cash should be your main objective, and if the numbers and the timeline and all those things don't align, you can talk to them about their other options.
Right. Ugly house, here's the cash offer. Oh, by the way, if you were, as you're talking to them, okay, great. The best part is I'm actually a licensed agent. I can list this property for you on the market as well. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Right? But that's plan 2. That's plan B.
Yeah.
Yep. Isaiah, Brent, when trying to wholesale a property with an agent involved, what do we do if they're reluctant about using the TTP purchase agreement? Obviously, my end goal is to assign. Every agent will want you to use the realtor contract. It's fine. It's fine. Just make sure that you coordinate with your title and escrow company or closing attorney and say, do I have to put any language on the realtor contract to make sure that this goes smooth for you guys and I can assign it? That's the conversation you want to have. It's just the title company interpreting it as you turn it in. So, yeah, a lot of agents will not use a 2-pager. They'll look at it and be like, oh, how dare you? We use this 9-page full disclosure. Here is the lead-based paint disclosure. Here is the seller property disclosure statement, also called SPUDS. Here's my buyer. Here's my agency agreement with them. Like, they'll go through the whole thing. That's fine. But as long as the price and terms are cool, play ball.
Yeah.
You got it. Yep. Sounded like such a dad there. Play ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jeez Louise.
Did he put his? Did you do,
I got from
did you
Disney.
do that
I've been at
too?
Disney. Yeah, I did.
Oh.
I did. I did. I don't know what's happening. You gotta.
It's like you're the Fonz.
I know.
Hey.
Hey. Nobody knows. Who that
I know.
is.
Like,
All right. Das, how do you stay organized when you have a lot of leads in your campaign that you're trying to stay on top of? As your business scales, this must be madness.
Where's your accordion?
Yeah. Yeah,
I put it away.
in the beginning, I just used an accordion binder, and I would write out on the lead sheets that I created and put it in the accordion binder that was 1 through 31. You could buy these on Amazon for like $15, and then if it was the 27th, boom, you pull it out, you look at all your leads, and you do it. Now, obviously, we use a CRM now. We use a Podio system that Rafael Cortez designed, and it's fantastic. But
There it
yeah,
is.
for the first $1 million, I just used this thing, right?
Yeah.
And then I had one like this that was January through December, and that way for the next month I would have them and just put them in each day. Anyway, because you probably want to have a CRM, and if your business is getting too crazy to stay on top of, just have a CRM that sets daily tasks. Yep. And you can do a lot of damage with a junior acquisition manager, which is Chad in our world, and then the closer, the acquisition manager, which is Ryan. So we have a junior and the actual acquisition manager, and Chad's whole job is to shorten the timeline, do the lead follow-up, get it to Ryan to the point now that they're ready to make a decision.
Yeah. And so you're just labeling those leads as hot, warm, and cold.
That's right.
I mean, Luke Rothfold still uses the accordion binder. And
Yeah.
Does he?
Doing $5 million or something.
Yeah. Luke Rothfold is He still has. I think he still pins it to his wall.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an exception to the rule there.
Yeah. Well, I get it. That's how. I mean,
It's free.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's how I trained him.
Not using a Rolodex for
Yeah.
your contacts.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to get stuck. There's like, you only have a certain amount of attention every day.
Right.
So what are you going to do? You're going to put your attention into software. Or you're going to put attention into doing deals. Or talking to new people, doing your lead follow-up. So I wanted to cut out all the fat of my life and be like, okay, if I just had a phone and an accordion binder and a pen and some lead sheets, could I make $1 million? The answer is yes. The answer is absolutely yes. Because it's focus. It's focus and attention. You try to become a wizard at every single part of this business, and that doesn't involve lead generation and being in front of distressed property owners, it's
Yeah.
going to take you a lot longer.
Yeah, your time management's going to get all.
It's going to be crazy because that's where you get creative avoidance because you feel like you're working.
Yeah.
You feel like you're doing you're making progress in your business. You're not. If you're not on your phone, Alejandro has my phone. If you're not on your phone all day long in the beginning during your hustle season, you're making a huge mistake.
Yeah. You're just
It's taking a lot
occupying your
longer.
time with busy work.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. It doesn't move the needle. You're just helping yourself. You're not helping the community.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff, how can I find contact info on an LLC that owns a property I'm interested in? Batch Skip Tracing. BatchSkipTracing.com.
Sorry.
Yeah, batchskiptracing.com, and yeah, get in there and get it skip traced, and they'll give you all the information. You just need the address. So batchskiptracing.com, you get it instantly. That's how you get the info. Now, if you want to like really dive in and see how long they owned it and what they bought it for, if you're in a disclosure state, then batch leads, batchleads.io, coupon code TTP, huh?
And the dialer.
Yeah, and the dialer. We might as well just do an ad for Batch right now.
Yep.
This segment is sponsored by Batch. All Batch services. Batch skip tracing, Batch leads, and Batch dialer for your dialer needs. Go to batchdialer.com. Make sure you use the coupon code.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, TTP.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Is that what you were pointing at me for?
Yes.
Yeah, it was already in my head before you pointed at me.
Yeah, it's always in your
I
head.
could.
Yeah.
Hey, Ryan, you want to go do something? Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to play basketball every morning?
Yeah.
Kyle, what is a good script for door-to-door knocking pre-foreclosures? Love it, Kyle. Just go to TTP Insider and make sure that you get the cold calling script. It's basically the same script, modified a little bit. You're just being like, hey, listen, I know that this is out of the blue, me stopping by, but I'm actually interested in buying a home in the neighborhood, and I just want to stop by and see if you would consider an offer on your property. And the way that you want to do it is you don't want to be standing straight at the door, right? You want to be kind of angled, looking out on the street. You know, they can see part of you, but it's not like it's your back, and it's not like you're like right at the door. You know what I mean? So step back a few paces, look around, be
Unobtrusive. Yeah.
yeah, it's not as scary as you think, and just wear a polo, wear something that looks professional, and it'll be solid. Yep, go for him. But call him too, Kyle. You're gonna do a lot more damage if you pick up the phone and call them.
Leave a note too if they don't answer.
Right. Yeah, we just have little sticky notes that are kind of like, it's like a small version of my yellow pad, and it just sticks on the door, and it's like, call me, and then put your number
And then
name.
And then it doesn't come off like those stickers on the windows, like
Yeah.
a toe, and then they have to peel it off.
Oh no. Yeah. You don't want to put like a super adhesive on
So
there.
they
Yeah.
remember that you were
Yeah.
there always.
They have to just keep scraping. Yeah. Tim, look at this professional.
Nice.
All right. What do you do in a situation where a seller is interested in selling and cashing out on their built equity, but can't find another home to move into?
Well, that's going to cut into what their timeline is.
That's it.
Yeah. So I mean, you can start helping them.
Why are they
and
selling?
Why
it?
are they? Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Why would they move? Why would they put themselves in that situation?
Yep.
Well, we want to take. We're interested in cashing out of this property. Okay, great.
Downsize, to move out of state.
Mm-hmm.
Like what are their goals with selling the property? And so you want to figure that out, and then is it even possible? What's their equity in the home? Is it 100,000? So you got
Right.
a few more questions are needed in order to figure out if it's even possible for them.
And Tim, I have some good friends that are building a system where they sell them to the hedge funds and keep the owners in the property. Now they're the renters.
Oh yeah.
And they just needed the money. They needed their equity.
Yeah.
They can still afford the payment, but they need their equity to do something
something
else.
else.
I don't know why somebody would do that, because then you're just spending all this equity that you had on other things, and that's gone. Now you don't have an asset and you don't have the money, but some people do it. Some
Well,
people
medical
need it.
bills. We had a guy who
could be.
had some,
Yep.
so was in debt for some stuff and had bills and.
Need to pay taxes, some stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yep. So be on the lookout for that, Tim. Paulina, when starting to cold call, can you or should you use your personal cell phone number and have a website? I wouldn't suggest having your own number. I would put in a caller ID that would be from like callrail.com, RAIL. It's like $2 a month, Paulina, and it just, you never know. You don't want people to have your personal number and then they're blowing you up, and then I guess you could block them or whatever else. But I would just have a business line so that when people are calling back or you know, you have it on marketing or something else, you know that they're calling for your business, not just some random person that you're going to miss the call and miss out on an opportunity.
And we're always working in this job, and I get it, and you always want to be, you know, attentive to a call, but I like to separate my personal life and my business life.
Yeah.
It's all intertwined, but
You have
I
the
wanna-
same phone or two phones? One phone, right?
I have one phone, but I use CallRail.
Right. Yep. There you go. And have a website. You don't need one. At some point, it's good to have because you can get reviews and you can leverage those reviews on appointments later, and you can really build up. How beneficial is that?
Oh, absolutely. This one that we just got on Flower.
Yeah.
It was, we talked about it, and he was talking about, well, how like you can back out at any time, and we went over like earnest money inspection period. Absolutely, but that's not my goal because it's not good for business. Hey, at the end of this, if you feel like I took care of you, I need you to leave me a good Google review. That's what helps our business.
Right.
He's like, oh, well,
Yeah.
what's your website? And then went in and looked at the reviews. And is like, all right, well, let's go. And that was literally how the
That was it.
conversation.
Yep. It's just it's a benefit. If you're just starting out, don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't.
Listen, you will lose deals in the beginning for some sellers that want that Google review. They want some sort of social proof. That's fine. You're just going to have to battle through that. It's not very often.
It's not. It really isn't. Like that was a kind of once in a. It happens maybe like 3 or 4 times.
Why is your average assignment so big?
Got big muscles.
Yeah, that's why. It's Jeremy. It's all Jeremy. Yeah,
It's not all Jeremy.
We purchased a house.
Who's
and then
Jeremy? To explain who
Jeremy's our
Jeremy's-
dispo guy. He's the one he's selling our properties. To,
Right.
you know, so he aims high, and
Yep.
and that's what we get. You know, so
One, Samuel, incredible amount of buyers. Listen, the only asset in this business, like from a business standpoint, let's get rid of the personnel, the people, because that's the biggest asset, obviously. But the technical asset is your cash buyer database. Because the more people that you have in there, there are different ways that people see potential in properties. All right. And the more buyers that you have, the more opportunities you have to fill those different potentials. So what Jeremy's done a really good job of is building an incredible cash buyer database so that something that might seem like a thin deal to somebody else is a huge deal for us because we have the right buyers for it. That's one, building the relationship with them, nurturing them, getting in with hedge funds, getting in with people that want to build their rental portfolio, getting in with people that are doing fix and flip to BRRRR, to do Airbnbs. Right? We can almost go retail in Scottsdale.
yeah, right.
But did you get that deal?
I haven't got a hold of him yet.
What is happening?
You know,
What are we doing?
I know.
Okay. Well, we know where we're going after this show.
It's true. you think I'm joking? It's
Yeah,
true.
I know. No, I know. So there's different strategies there. That's why one. Ryan locks him up. Right? He gets him in at a great price. But two, we have so many different options to sell our deals. Because we're focused on it. We're not focused on fix and flip. We're not focused on rental portfolios. We're not focused on development. We're not focusing on all those things. We're focused on getting the biggest, baddest deals in our markets and continuing to do that. And doing it with a small team so that everybody gets bonused, everybody gets paid, everybody makes a ton, and that's how you run this business, in my opinion. That's how you have a 55% profitability and a 1.7 last year, going to be two million this year, and you do that from big deals.
And Sam, it's so easy, especially somebody starting off, or even somebody who's been doing it for a while. It's so easy to talk to a homeowner and they give you a price that is perfect for you, right? You need it for $250, and they want to sell it to you for $250. I think people lose sight of what could possibly be gained from that number. So people go, 250? Oh, okay, I can do 250. What could it have been? Right? And so I'll never stop at that. It's like, awesome. Like, that's great. And so that's internal. Cool. All right. All else fails, I'm locking this deal up no matter what. But how much lower can I get it? And people are fearful of losing a deal because they want to keep negotiating and kind of talking and be like, well, I mean, in setting that anchor,
Yeah.
right? Setting that anchor is tough for
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
But if you don't do it, you never know how close you can get to that anchor. And then you're just paying them what they want, which is great. That's fine. But you just don't know how much meat is left on the bones. And so I think it's the responsibility of the acquisition guy to go, okay, hey, you know, I get it. And that's awesome. You know, what helps you get to that figure? You know, we were thinking more along the lines of this, and that's just kind of our happy place. How close can you get to that?
Yeah.
You know, and then you work with that. So don't be content with going with the first number that you get or the first number that's acceptable to them.
Well, it throws them off too. They're like, wait, I left money on the table.
Right.
You take their first offer and don't say, is that the best you can do?
Yeah.
Can we get down here? You know, that's going to secure in when they make the decision. They're going to feel like
This
they won.
is it. Yeah.
They
so
won.
Don't be afraid of anchors. And people
This
are
is
so
like
afraid.
this is Choya, right? That we just closed yesterday, $81,000 deal. He originally wanted like $100,000 more, right?
Yeah.
He wanted like 340, and we got it at 230.
220.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and listen, that's just for, and how'd you do that?
It was just talking to them and following up, honestly,
Yeah.
because the woman that initially came to us through the lead, I've been talking to and following up, I don't know, a dozen times, like just on a regular basis. And then finally she goes, oh, well, you know, we're telling stories about her kids and then, you know, my kids. And, oh, here, you know, just talk to so-and-so because he's the executor. And then I finally got that number and then it just worked out, you know? Yeah.
I'm ringing I'm ringing the string.
So the topic
here to
of the day,
celebrate here.
the topic of the day on that one was literally just following up and building
Yes.
rapport with the initial lead.
Yeah.
And then she sent me to the person who actually makes the decision.
Love it. DC, congratulations! Got your first deal under contract. Took you 8 months, but I think you have a good one. Good.
Yeah.
Get it sold. We celebrate your efforts. Here we go. Watch out. Woo!
Nice, D.
Just slowly swinging.
I know, really.
Get it in a circle. Taylor B, what happens if you don't find a buyer in time? Then you have to have a honest conversation with the seller, and either you get a price reduction or you cancel, or you close on it. You know, if it's a great deal and you just don't have the buyer base, or you just you weren't focused on getting it out to as many people as possible, or you waited too long, then you gotta get a price reduction or cancel it. You know what I mean? So don't get in that position.
Yeah.
If you don't find a buyer within the first 10 days, that inspection period, then you need to move. You need to be able to get a price reduction or cancel it. You do not want to string them along until the very end.
No.
That is how people get really, 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 really upset.
Yeah.
That's when things start getting burned down, and they just don't. That relationship's gone. It just boom, dust, gone. There's no way to save it. So there might be a way to save it if it's day 9 and you're like, hey, listen, I need to get it at this price. Great. If it's at the end, they're going to feel like you took huge advantage of them. You got them all moving. You got them all emotionally charged to get done with this situation, and then you drop a bomb on them. It's gross, and don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whenever a situation, I think maybe we had 2 last year.
Yeah.
I'll always start off with, hey, I'm so sorry, we're gonna have to cancel.
Yeah.
I don't go into like, hey, you know, we're gonna have to lower the price. I'll say, hey, sorry, we have to cancel. Here's why. What do you want to do? I want to try to fix this and make this work no matter what. So what can we do? You know, and then a lot of times they bring up well, what do you need it at?
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
No.
Kif Meyer. All right. Another professional picture. Look at that smile. There's some stars in his eyes. I like that. Where do you draw the line when disqualifying a lead? Our leads seem to lack motivation more times than not, but I also don't want to miss out on a potential deal after follow-up.
So lack motivation. It's kind of hard to gauge what that means, because motivation comes in all kinds of all kinds of forms. But what are the other pillars? I mean, are they? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot here that we kind of have to dive into. But
Kif Meyer, if you're talking to a lot of people and there's not a lot of people that are ready to sell and they own ugly properties, then you need to look at your lists.
yeah.
okay? And just make sure that you're going after distressed property owners and not just the whole general population. All right. Next, when qualifying and disqualifying a lead, it starts with this. Have they made the decision to sell?
Yeah.
This is huge. I've had conversations. I've had 2 conversations on Monday with TTP coaching students that are now at $500,000 for the year, right? And they're saying, I'm just getting overwhelmed with all these leads, and a lot of them are not really qualified. They're not really quality leads. And I just asked the question, well, do they want to sell? And they're like, what do you mean? Have they made the decision to sell, or are they just asking you, which a lot of people do, is, well, I'd sell for the right offer.
Sure. Yeah, I get that.
I'd sell for the right price. I'd do this, this, and this. You have to dig deeper than that and see if they've made the decision. Okay, great. It takes us typically 2 weeks to 30 days to close this deal. Are you good with that? Are you good to close it in 2 weeks or 30 days? If we come to agreement today, are you ready to go?
And it seems like if you're saying they seem to lack motivation, then they have not decided to
Exactly. There's the timeline. I am telling you, when the timeline is pushing on somebody, that is when they will make a decision. Shorten the timeline.
Right.
Shorten the timeline. If you don't sell this property and your son stays in there living rent-free, what will happen?
I love that question, yeah. What will happen?
What will happen? If you don't sell, what will happen? It's an old Todd Toback question. I mean, he crushes it with it all the time. Just ask it.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Are you kidding me, Abraham? Abraham, let us know what market you're in. That is absolutely incredible. Closed my first deal this month. $41,500 thanks to your TTP channel.
The bell just lowering.
That's great. Listen, Abraham, I am so happy for you. That is a big deal for your first deal. Keep it going.
Yes.
I am telling you, keep it going. He's going to be spoiled, though.
I know.
He's going to be spoiled.
I know.
Hey, keep this money, Abraham. Keep the money. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't get crazy yet.
Don't buy Beanie Babies. That thing is intense.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like a circus
Nice,
fire.
man.
Here we go. Richard, on an appointment, do I show comps to prove my price? How often do you do this?
Not often.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't think so.
If it comes
Almost
through
never
in the
did this.
conversation, yeah, like, well, I saw this or I saw this, and
Right.
a lot of times I'll go, oh, awesome. Can you show me? Because I didn't see that one.
Yep.
Because they're trying to tell me about a comp that is higher than what I've seen, and so
My neighbor sold for $300,000.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
did.
that's great. What's
Fantastic.
the
Which
address?
one?
Let's take a look at it.
Yeah.
So I don't typically go out and like have like sheets of paper with comps on them and whatnot. If it comes up in conversation and they
What do you
wanna-
bring on an appointment? I think that'd
Nothing.
be helpful.
I don't bring anything.
know.
I bring my phone, and then when it's all said and done and we're gonna sign a deal, I'll go, hey, let me go get the paperwork.
In the car.
In the car. Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't bring anything else because I don't know. I'm holding something and it's not a good feel for me. So
Right.
I don't need it. If I don't need it, I don't need it until the end. So
Could you imagine you going in with like a folder and you're like, what's your goal?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
How many square feet is this?
And what research have you done so far?
Yeah. Oh, none. Okay.
I'm going to check the
that's
none.
interesting.
Should I check the none box here that I have? Okay,
Tell me
none
about your mother.
Yeah. Yeah, well, what was your childhood like?
Yeah.
What put you in this situation? No, be a human
Yeah,
being.
yeah, just-
go over there and be dope.
Yeah.
All right, Otis, my man. Hello, Ryan, Brent and Ryan.
Hey.
Would you say it's easier to deal with assigning a contract if a tenant is month to month or on a lease?
Month to month.
Every time, Otis.
Yep.
I'm telling you, with those long lease agreements, it's very specific buyers that want to buy it.
Yeah.
Otis is crushing it. He's doing
Love
some
it,
really
Otis.
good work. TTP coaching student there.
Nice.
Luis, the third. Is it bad to tell the seller a ballpark offer before going to to look at the property so you don't waste each other's time? Great question.
I mean, if they require it.
Right.
If they require it, listen, I don't want you at my house unless I have an idea of whether or not we're going to be on the same page.
Okay.
Then yes. Then I'll work in a ballpark
How
figure.
often do you do those deals? How often do they turn into deals for us when people say that?
Pretty much a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
So people say, I want an offer?
Well,
A
like
lot?
on the no,
Right.
like an offer on the
No,
phone,
what
but
I'm
I'm
saying
going
is,
on an appointment.
what I'm saying is somebody that has the attitude of, you can't come to my house unless you give me an offer.
Oh.
And then you give them an offer and they're like, I'll take it.
No, almost never.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That goes back to this whole part, right? This whole part right here is it a real lead? Is it a real lead? Have they made the decision that they're going to sell, or are they just stacking the list? I don't want you coming by. I don't want to go through this process unless I know what price you're going to give me. Well, okay, great. If I gave you the right price, we typically close in 2 weeks to 30 days. Will that work for you? No, I just want to know what your offer is.
You know, and I can see it from the homeowner's
Yep,
perspective
of
as
course.
far as, listen, you're coming to my home. You know, I don't want to take the time out of my day and have you walk through all my stuff unless I know that you're going to be at least somewhat viable buyer. And so they're looking for that range. And so I go, okay, well, anywhere between 150 and 200,000. Or something like that, if that's what they're really needing. But honestly, I'll go, well, I really couldn't tell you until I see the condition of the house.
Right.
Like, I don't want to just throw numbers at you. I get it. I'll get a much better idea once I can actually, get there and see what's going on.
Well, it's kind of crazy because they're like, hey, give me a price on something that you've never seen or done
Right.
research. It's like, hey, would you consider selling your car? Yeah, what price? I don't know. I'd have to come see what condition it's in.
Yeah.
Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
No. You just tell me what price you want for my car, and if I like it, might consider it.
Yeah. How can
Okay.
I give you an accurate price?
How long? Yeah.
How?
Does it have wheels? Does it have upgraded anything?
Yeah.
Has it been driven in a while? Has it been driven a lot? What's
Yeah.
going on here? Like, I don't understand why people are just like, yeah, just give me an offer on my house without more information.
Yeah.
Most of the time they're doing that as a reflex way of challenging you to see if you're serious or to see if you're just somebody from across the world cold calling them like they've had 1,000,000 times that day. Mm-hmm. Right? So just get past it by just not throwing out numbers at them.
Yeah.
Just literally be like, okay, well, can you tell me, condition's really important. Can you tell me what remodeling you've done over the last 5 years? And then now you've answered the question, and then you ask the question. All right. Last one from Carlos. All right.
One more after this.
Oh, one more after this. Just got my first contract now. I think more people are putting in their successes because of this bell, Matt.
Yeah.
Because of the bell. I've been telling you this, and you fixed it. You did this in 5 minutes. So you know what? We're going to have a conversation.
Good job,
I'm just
Matt.
kidding. It was great. It was really great. Carlos, just got my first contract now to find a buyer. Just been into wholesaling about 2 months. Take action. Let's go TTP
Carlos is
community.
looking suave,
on,
too.
yeah,
Like,
okay.
he's got the look.
Got the pose. Get it, Carlos. Bring it on down. Come on. Yes.
Love it.
Congratulations. Oh, boy.
Another one.
All right. The Frugal King. I love it. Just got a call from a title company and closed on my first deal for $17,000 assignment. 77-day lead to close. Congratulations.
What's elbow cough like? That's
Yeah, that's 670. You're just not cool, Ryan. You're just not cool.
I'm missing.
Bring it up here,
I'm missing
guys.
so much.
Everybody come up here, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Remember, you're 5 people, your personal board of directors, sponsor, mentor, connector, protector, and friend. All right, I got to find an or one there to rhyme the friend with something. I'll figure it out. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. On behalf of Ryan Thornton, Alejandra, Matt, and Aaron, we say thank you for joining us. Couldn't do the show without these guys. They're absolutely incredible. We love you guys. And as always, listen, keep your house clean, protect your health, and increase your value to the world. You'll live an unbelievable life. We love you. Talk to you soon.
See you guys.